Welcome back to a series so nice. We're on episode 169. In today's video, Twitch is celebrating Veterans Day and is being called out for being massive hypocrites doing nothing to protect veterans on their platform. The rank number 1 Hasan orbiter, Frogan, has responded and is very mad that people are bringing her up in the situation. Balda streamer Kaceytron has responded. Frogan has been caught lying about the situation, claiming she was actually banned for her comments about veterans. People have found the receipts and her own tweets contradict her. The most pathetic Hasan orbiter, Kaceytron, is back having a complete meltdown on Twitter. She's calling people incels and beefing with everybody. Massive updates to the Twitch and Emiru situation. She has apparently negotiated with Twitch and released a response. Cockroach Hasan is back after the incident in China where he was stopped by the police for a meme on his phone. He's now claiming that he's spiritually Chinese, but he's trying to shapeshift again. Greek philosopher Diogenes, aka XQC, has responded, cooking him, and a bunch of more updates. Subscribe or you're Frogan's personal chef. You're cooked.
Let's up those numbers!
Now let's begin. Right, so Twitch is now celebrating Veterans Day and people are instantly bringing up Frogan, who infamously said veterans should get PTSD. Now veterans are specifically a protected group on Twitch and she did not actually get banned for violating TOS. Instead, Kaceytron got banned for calling her the guru of gravity. So Twitch tweeted, on Veterans Day, we're saluting our service members on Twitch. Check them out live on the front page shelf. Are you a veteran who wants to be showcased? Express your interest here. And they got absolutely ratioed. People responded they are not buying it. Would have been nice to have this sign-up sheet weeks in advance. Posting it on the day of Veterans Day feels like such a damage control slap in the face. We can tell when an organization genuinely cares or not. This just seems like you want brownie points and we aren't giving you any. Tacto says shut the frick up, 60k likes. A woman, very fat by the way, said all American soldiers deserve PTSD. You didn't ban her. I called her a fat person and defended our troops and you banned me. You don't care about soldiers or the sacrifices for this country. Shut the frick up. Rev responds, I'm glad this is getting ratioed. You can't pretend to care about veterans when you allow your two-time rising star, rising straight into the galaxy, outside the Milky Way, to wish PTSD on them without punishment. And basically everybody is bringing up the infamous clip.
I have no pity at all for any fucking soldiers. I will never have any fucking pity for any fucking soldiers. U.S. military? Boo fucking who? I hope you get PTSD. Any other motherfucker, you're joining them, you're like, oh my god, I want my fucking Camaro, no student loans. Fuck you. I hope you get PTSD. And I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into fucking America. And they posted it in my head, I'm like, base? Base? Like, am I supposed to be like, I'm not walking back on it. I still fucking agree with it. Base?
Yep, that is Hasan's head moderator right there, and the most important character in the Star Wars franchise, I hear, actually. By the way, one thing I never noticed about this clip, why is there an egg count? 54? Is that the amount of eggs she's eating? Because nobody's believing that. That's obviously way too little. Come on. This is Frogy Yogi we're talking about. That's just a little snack. Right, then the story escalates when Twitch actually gets community noted. Frogan went on stream and wished PTSD on his soldiers and Twitch did nothing about it. And then Frogan responded. Frogan responds to the Twitch community note that included her PTSD comments, says it's crazy, and that she was actually banned for 1 month. So Frogan quote tweeted and said, the community note is crazy because remember when I was banned for a whole month after this and Twitch didn't communicate with me at all? She followed up saying, here's the statement I put out before, plus be mad at the government not giving veterans adequate resources instead of one thing a freaking Twitch streamer said. And then she's quote tweeted her tweet from when the incident happened saying the US military has conducted some of the most horrific crimes against humanity, brings up Palestine. My anger is directed at individuals who are currently championing these war crimes as if they liberated my people. It's horrific and disgusting. The beginning of that clip was worded poorly and I do apologize for that. Well, you actually doubled down and said it was base, so I'm not sure. People responded, the community note hasn't been removed and her 1 month ban was for the Sabra hummus tier list she did with denims and other streamers. They all got a 1-month ban. Frogan is trying to lie that the 1-month ban was also including the PTSD comment, but that doesn't add up. Why would the other streamers also get a 1-month ban when they didn't actually make the PTSD comment? And that sort of proves that ban was specifically about that tier list they had on stage. 1 month isn't enough. She should have been perma. This is clearly unacceptable. All US veterans deserve better. Happy Veterans Day. And we just got a diabolical picture. Right, so Rev responded clarifying some of the history of the situation.
According to CNN, this article I am citing here for circumstantial evidence of why Frogan is lying about that 30-day ban and why she got it. It's coming from CNN, so this is not some alt-right chud news source here. This is something I think Frogan would probably use herself. Twitch banned Frogan, among others, because of a targeted hateful conduct situation where she was a part of a panel, a Twitch-sponsored panel, where, as you can see at TwitchCon, they did a racial tier list. Yes, in case you forgot, this was a real thing. Okay, not only did Twitch platform this, they got major sponsors like Capcom, Chevron, Samsung, among others. And the whole purpose of what they were doing was taking content creators and ranking them. You can see the top was Arab, and they put Hasan up there. So if you're Arab, good, you're S tier. That means good, you're the best. And then down here, loves Sabra. They put a bunch of Jewish content creators like Ethan Klein, meaning they're bad, they're F tier, boo, bad. So yeah, turns out you can't do that. And of course, Frogan was banned for 30 days.
Yup, I mean, that's just a classic from the Hasan Orbiter community, trying to rewrite history because some time has actually passed and hopefully people won't actually remember the story. And never actually let these people do this shit. She was never banned for the statement about veterans or PTSD. She was completely lying about that. It just so happens that she was conveniently banned for something else entirely, and she never actually had any punishment for saying something that was completely against TOS. And once again, the situation shows Twitch's blatant hypocrisy regarding these situations and does not at all help the anti-Semitic allegations against Twitch. Also, I have no idea how she is still piping up on Twitter when you're literally getting sued by Ethan, desperately trying to beg for money from your audience, or Hasan's audience, you know, or numerous other people. Meanwhile, you're going completely broke to the point where you're literally trying to hide from being served. She was legitimately dodging Ethan's server with a game of hide and seek, if you guys watched the previous episode, and somehow, I don't know if she took shelter in the neighboring solar system, because apparently they just couldn't find her. She's a world champion expert at hide and seek, apparently. And don't ask me how Ethan's server had a hard time finding her when I can literally look up at the sky and see her orbiting around the planet. I even remember this situation actually happened at the very start of the series, and she ended up crying on camera about harassment, and she got her buddy Hasan to actually defend her on camera, saying that people are just racist and mean to her because she's fat.
The reaction to Frogan by everyone, including XQC, is so fucking gross, dude. Asmongold, XQC, I saw some of them go fucking viral too. It's like, yeah, bro, she's hijabi, I know. And don't even fucking for a moment act like that does not contribute to this. They will say, oh, it's because we hate her opinions. Like, no, you reacted that way specifically for a very specific purpose, bro. How are we so goddamn cruel? You know what I mean?
I hope you get PTSD. Like, I'm like, what did I do to deserve this? You know what I mean?
And that was just the most disingenuous defense ever. It's just pathetic behavior. And it's so sad. After 160 episodes, these people have learned absolutely nothing. Right, so then he talks about the reaction of the sponsors at the time and the fact that Frogan herself admitted that the ban was because of the tier list and not the PTSD comment.
And in that same article I just mentioned, Chevron, among other sponsors, were mortified by this. Which, duh. But if you don't want to believe me, here's an easy solution. Believe her own words. Back in 2024 when this happened, she clarified, live with the replies locked, of course, saying 30-day ban for saying people like bottom of the barrel hummus, but other people get 2 weeks for advocating for the G word that YouTube doesn't like of Palestinians, got it. Referring to Asmongold. And here's the reason: hateful conduct. Referring to the panel. She's very clearly referring to the panel she was on, and that's why she got a 30-day ban. So when she goes back and says the PTSD comments, she already served her time, she's lying.
Wow, Frogan is lying? I could have never guessed, not in a million years. I mean, at least if you're going to lie, at least do a good job, right? Go back, delete all your tweets, make sure all the cards are lined up and you don't try to change the narrative. I mean, it's so pathetic, it's so lazy, and of course her community will blindly believe her, even though she disabled replies, making sure that nobody can actually correct her. And this is how they try to control the narrative, but we're not gonna let it happen, obviously. People responded, 2-ton rising star? Oh, 2-time, my bad. I thought it was 2-ton. That's a genuine mistake, okay, come on. Right, so Asman responded,
Yeah, why would you even tweet about this? Why would you even say anything about being a veteran at all? And also, one thing that I find to be kind of funny about this is that a person's veteran status is an explicitly stated protected characteristic inside of the Twitch terms of service, right? So we're not taking, this is like not an abstraction or something like that. This is a direct application of the rules, and it didn't happen. So really, I mean, does Twitch care about veterans? Well, no, but they care about having veterans watch them so they can make money. And so that's why they're making posts like this. But I'm glad that people keep calling them out for this stuff. It's just very annoying. I'd hate to be the social media manager for the Twitch account, though. I'll be honest. You're just posting something and you just get shit on like crazy. So yeah, everybody hated them posting this. People were very mad about it. I think I totally agree with them, by the way. I think it's ridiculous that Twitch even posts anything about Veterans Day after that.
Anyways, moving on to the next Hasan Orbiter melting down on Twitter, Kaceytron. Now, last time we talked about her, she was also getting sued by Ethan, and she was basically just calling everybody incels. She was showing off her Reddit mod boyfriend. They apparently got engaged outside a Walmart or a Subway or something, and they're like, even though we're broke, we will totally get through this or something.
I can get through anything with this man. We may not be rich in money, but we are so rich in love.
And she even made a couple tweets about how evil Ethan is, about how she's gonna lose her house and stuff like that, playing victim. She did some fucking spiritual circle to ward off Ethan's fan base, but I guess it didn't work.
We need your protection, goddess. Shimanana, Shananina, la. Protect us from Ethan Klein. Protect us from his wife. All of the incel energy infesting the interwebs right now. We call upon your protection from it.
Anyways, she's back on Twitter having several meltdowns. Casey tweets, incel-infested hellscape of a website. It's actually crazy how willing incels are to broadcast their mental unwellness in my comment sections on an hourly basis. Already 2 incels in the first tweet. It's off to a good start for a Kaceytron tweet. This is Kaceytron every day. Incel! Aren't you a drug addict who begs for money all day? Do not bring up her weed. That's the doubly word for her. It's a slur. Say the line, Casey. Ben are incels. Yeah! Just delete your Twitter account, join Blue Sky, and call it a day. It would be better for all of us that way. Right, so basically somebody made this tweet and she lost her mind. Genuinely the easiest way for any woman to look 5 times less attractive, and it's basically someone with a nose ring. And this got 27k likes. Tattoos and piercings objectively can turn a 10 out of 10 down to a 1 out of 10. No ifs and buts about it. So obviously you can agree or disagree on Twitter. There's a tons of opinions there. Half of the shit on Twitter is just like blatantly racist shit. That's why you don't use Twitter unless you're making content or you're, I don't know, messaging a friend or a creator or something, because you're just gonna end up getting mad over everything and everybody's opinion. And it's exactly what Casey did. She goes, septum piercings, crystals, and astrology. Okay, you just inserted some other shit there. Are a great way to ward off men that will never see you as an equal and will never respect your interests or beliefs and will also never sexually satisfy you. By the way, I love how she threw in crystals and astrology just to make sure that, hey guys, we're all on the same team, okay? If you have a nose ring and were offended by this tweet, then you should join me and my crystal ass, okay? My crystal ass who believes that this will predict my future or something like that. Bro, she was legitimately just getting like tarot card readings and saying that, oh, okay, Ethan is going down. And then she apparently read it wrong as well, and it was like about her and her destiny and stuff. People responded, waking up in the morning knowing I will never acquire a woman that looks like this with her priorities straight. And it's just a picture of her. She responds, I have a husband, incel. 167 replies to 46 likes. Diabolical. How many vasectomies has he had? He cheats on you with other dudes, you filthy weirdo. You're a bum. No self-respecting man would ever deal with your bullshit. Poor bastard. When does he get his sight back? By the side of that desk, an unhappy one that wallows in filth and smells like middle-aged body sebum. My condolences to your husband. Poor guy, if that's what he comes home to every day. And the battle continues. The constant posting about men like this really makes you look like you want to be a perpetual victim. You constantly generalize groups of people, which is bad if you didn't know. The only thing you're achieving is looking like an unbearable person. Won't somebody think of the poor incel men that constantly ridicule women on Twitter? How dare I be rude to men ridiculing women for having septum piercings? Shut the frick up, dumbass incel. You're the one playing victim, dumb frick. Okay, Casey, I think we need to have like a swear jar. Each time you say the word incel, put like $1 in the jar, and I think you'll be rich by noon or something, right? Also, of course, people are going to be mean to you if you're spamming this word incel and using it for absolutely every single situation, and you're getting rage baited by a bunch of people trying to farm likes on Twitter. Like, of course, this is going to be the result. And the fact is, like, this is you, Kaceytron. This isn't a troll because you've been doing it on the internet for 10 years. You're giving up your house for this shit. Or like some mildly related shit. She calls Ethan an incel too, by the way, who has a wife and kids. So it literally doesn't matter what you are. You could be a woman and you're still an incel. Nux responds, if you make yourself look ugly and regarded, men will stay away. Brilliant. Casey does not need a septum piercing to achieve this. Anyways, she responded to Nux with the quote tweet, not me triggering the incel brigade. I'm about to have hundreds of PDF file grape enablers, interesting, telling me how undesirable I am to them, as if any woman wants to attract men of such low value. Okay, so they're not even men. This is me and my husband, by the way. And the picture is basically Casey half naked with her Redditor boyfriend. Nux responds, food stores, two cooked F words. She responds, you really talk big behind your keyboard. You would cower before my husband like the worm you are. When did she turn into J.K. Rowling? This is some immaculate writing here. He'd literally wipe you out of existence. You trying to act like you emasculate him is hilarious, though. Jesus Christ, just as expected, he looks like a total soy boy twing. I can't get over the motion of him doing this. That was absolutely legendary, bro. And that was the boyfriend that she was showing off to the world. Like, oh my god, you guys are incels, redditors, losers, and this is my boyfriend. It was literally the caricature of all of that. Posting your gay bestie and calling it your husband is a new low even for you. Dude, honestly, like, this is just a never-ending back and forth between Kaceytron and Twitter, and I feel like she enjoys this. She enjoys getting absolutely humiliated and ratioed on every single thing. Like, she is one of the OG lol cows. Moving on to Twitch and the Emiru situation, massive update. Now, recap, Emiru got essayed at TwitchCon in front of everybody, despite Twitch CEO Dan Clancy saying that safety is their #1 priority, security would be top-notch and stuff like that. Right, so then Twitch responded, letting the guy get away, and then interfering with the investigation to save their own ass, and then Dan responded in an interview with the rank #1 Hasan simp, Taylor Lorenz, blaming Emiru, saying that she should control her community and just ban this guy in her chat, and essentially saying it's her fault for getting assaulted in public in front of everybody.
In many ways, since you control your community and you can ban people, you can make it so that those people that you don't want engaging with you and participating with you aren't there.
Since then, Dan actually walked it back last video with a second apology, and now we know the reason why. It was actually a negotiation with Emiru here. Also, keep in mind, while all of this is happening, Twitch did nothing about Nina Lin, another girl who essayed 2 people blatantly on camera and gave her a 1-day and a 1-week ban as well. And that brings us to today. So Emiru has negotiated this deal with Twitch, and I'm not really sure how I feel about this, honestly. Emiru states in her current live stream that Twitch will be donating $100,000 to a violence protection charity due to what happened to her at TwitchCon San Diego 2025.
People were recommending a lot of different things, but I didn't really want to drag it out. And I also wanted there to be some kind of like public resolution since it was a public issue. And then if you take things to court, they tend to become private. And I was like, I don't that's not really what I want to do. So, I basically asked them for a list of things, and they agreed to all of them. And I think you guys like probably saw some of the tweets that they made. And they mentioned it in one of the tweets, but one of the things that I asked for that was like important to me was I asked if they would do a $100,000 donation to a violence protection charity, and they said yes. So they're probably gonna do that in about a month, and they'll post about that when they do that.
Like a lawsuit is extremely complex. They take a really long time to do. It's costly. Well, I mean, they would end up paying for it. I mean, there's no way she was going to lose.
Do a $100,000 donation to a violence protection charity, and they said yes.
It's a lot cheaper than a multi-million-dollar lawsuit for lying about the way that you did security and everything else. I feel like they're like, wow, we owe you $5 and we only have to give you a quarter? Okay, that sounds great. Let's do it.
Okay, listen, she's obviously the victim and she can do whatever she thinks is the appropriate response, but I'm just saying, I don't think she should have settled this quickly and let it like go under the rug or whatever. Now, I know that this isn't the guy who essayed her, right? That is a different story, and she's likely pursuing legal action there. This situation is about Twitch specifically, but I feel like even Twitch shouldn't get off that easy, because 100K is literally peanuts to them, right? This is Twitch, right? And Dan Clancy, the dynamic diddler, I feel like you should sue these motherflippers into the ground, right? For their incompetent security and failure to protect you at the event. Dan is probably laughing his ass off now, thinking he got off scot-free. In fact, I'm getting a call from him right now. Hello, Twitch CEO Dan Clancy here. Greetings, Emiru. Looks like you signed our little contract there. Negotiations went well, I see. If it ain't a couple of Class A suckaroonies. That's all it took, 100K. I, Dan the Diddler, make that shit in 5 minutes for real, for real. That's all I needed to do to cover up SA? Please, this job just keeps getting easier. That just means we can keep diddling. In fact, Emiru, you're quite cooperative indeed. You even let me install some cameras in your Kirby's. Oh, what? That wasn't approved? My bad, of course. I definitely have disabled them. Do not check. Do not check, though. Anyways, you're invited to the next Diddy party with Hasan. Although, make no mistakes, you will always be the second best Emily. My queen is always number one. Extra Emily, of course. Hoping she gets into another car crash into me. Dan, aka Saul Goodman 2.0, Clancy out. Okay, Dan, that was kind of fucked up even for you, all right? Also, I've literally tried everything. I've disconnected my number. I've literally changed my phone. I've done an exorcism. I've called the FBI. I've called Ghostbusters. None of it works, guys. I can't get rid of this guy, and now my throat hurts. Because of his possession, obviously. Maybe pest control's next. Maybe he's like Cockroach-san. I'll try that next time. Because we all know there's gonna be a next time. Pure responded, what happened to the guy who did it? I never heard any follow-up news on that front. Investigation's still going on, but she said that it's going good, so the dude's almost definitely getting charged. Legal Eagle made the unfortunate note that kissing mouth-to-mouth doesn't fall under California SA law, so it might not hold up in court. What the hell is wrong with California, bro? Oh my god. Also, obviously the guy didn't like actually kiss her or anything. He attempted to, and then, you know, maybe pushed her away or whatever, and then the guy stepped in as well. So, I don't know, man. 100K to Safe Face Charity. The Human Fund. Money for people. This is exactly what these rich people do. Essentially, they just throw money at charity anytime a problem comes up, and then they expect you to just forget about the situation, which is why I feel like she shouldn't have like capitulated or whatever. Maybe this was like the only option or like a series of steps that's going to happen, but yeah, 100K is nothing to Dan, man. Come on. And this isn't even Dan. This is probably going out of Twitch's funds, right? After the clip, she said they agreed to the whole list, which is very nice of them. I would rather say it showed how scared they were if they didn't even negotiate. Well, because it seems like a softball list. Obviously, 100K to a charity of her choice, and the public apology is a lot cheaper than what could they have owed her, and she'd taken them to court and won. Rare W for Twitch, but at the same time, let's be real, instead of Twitch doing something themselves, they chose to just donate money for this issue to go away. Twitch still doesn't care. Change my mind. Oh, absolutely. They do not care. Otherwise, they would have banned people like Nina Lynn as well. They're just trying to sweep this issue under the rug, which is why I'm not going to let up on Twitch because of this. Moving on to Cockroach Hasan. So last time, Hasan got confronted by the police in China for having a meme on his phone. Now, if this happened in America, he'd obviously be crying fascism, but instead he started playing defense and he started blaming everything on the US, saying that US cops are infinitely worse, and they actually tear gassed him, pepper sprayed him, shot him, and stun grenaded him.
The further west you go, the worse cops get, the more aggressive they get. America being the worst one out of all of them.
I've gone to protests. I've been tear gassed. I've been pepper sprayed. I've been, I've been stun grenaded. Like a stun grenade exploded in my head.
Apparently, this man has suffered more than an actual person on active military duty. Obviously, a bunch of bullshit lies that he made up. And that brings us to today. He's talking about how he's spiritually Chinese now. Another race to add to the Schrodinger's Turk list.
My mind, in my conscience, I have already become Chinese. Okay? We were already white Chinese in this chat. I've already become full Chinese. Okay? Let me just start by saying that. It's fucking sick. Okay? Like, you have abundant style consumption paired up with a centrally controlled economy, an economic system that has yielded tremendous development. You have 1950s Soviet era building blocks next to the Gucci store. If there was ever a country that represented the synthesis, the things that I enjoy so much personally, if ever such a country existed, I do not know. You have to try the premium grilled chicken sandwich at McDonald's China, or I'm gonna report you to the CCP officials. You have met me at a very Chinese time in my life, chat.
Right, so I just want to make it clear, obviously, China can be awesome, their culture is cool, the people are nice, they've done incredible things as well, the cities are beautiful, I got friends from there, okay? It's not about like a, this country versus this country, or US versus China or whatever. Nobody's trying to further the divide or make you hate anyone or anything like that. The only problem we have on this channel is with one individual at the moment, and that's Hasan Piker, seemingly the source of a lot of problems on the internet, right? And the main issue is the blatant fucking hypocrisy that pisses me and a bunch of other people off as well. Just the fact that if the US did half of what a lot of these other countries do, he would lose his mind. If the US cops stopped him for a meme, he'd be calling tyranny and calling Trump a dictator or something. He'd say they're going after me because I'm a political opponent trying to silence my free speech, making sure I don't criticize the government, but ironically when it happens somewhere else it's totally fine, and they'd just be having security measures and they're just making sure that things are going all right, even though he admitted to being racially profiled, which would be a huge problem in America, especially if it was like a black person or something like that. Hasan would lose his mind, try to start another revolution, cry about racism, shit like that. And it's just crazy how he never applies the standards evenly at all, because his entire life philosophy is based around hating America, hating Americans, and I don't know why. I just don't know why. I guess it's profitable. Also, to a man that cries about free speech all the time while in America, he obviously ignores that you're not allowed to say certain things in certain places, and the obvious sort of hidden things that are going on that I don't even want to mention for YouTube purposes, but if you know, you know, obviously. And he obviously picks and chooses what to talk about in order to portray this narrative that every single place in the world other than the US is actually just a utopia and everything is perfect, and there's actually zero oppression, it's just paradise. And obviously anyone with a shred of a brain cell knows that that's not true. Every place has its problems. And at the end of the day, this is only something you can say as a privileged fucking regard millionaire capitalist who benefited from living in America majority of her life and now has the freedom to go around and say whatever the hell you want. Hasan loves this about China too. Based, Apple removes 2 gay dating apps in China to comply with government order. I mean, do not expect Hasan to be consistent about anything. He literally loves Hezbollah and he thinks that Iran is pro-trans, weirdly pro-trans.
By the way, Iran is actually weirdly very pro-trans.
Wow, Hasan should move there and just show us how great it is. I'm sure the Chinese government would love all of the memes on his phone. He should go share them. Absolutely. Bro is the ultimate performative male. His first priority is the aesthetic and where he can virtue signal his consumption habits. Anyways, moving on to Diogenes himself, XQC, responding, cooking Hasan like a steak. As you see on the Hasan China incident, right? So he's reading this meme. A real job doesn't suck the soul out of you in the same way that streaming absolutely will. And this is a direct Hasan quote. Stay strong, Hasan. At least our souls aren't being sucked. Thank God I'm not a streamer. Yes, this is such an easy job. I would hate to sit in an air-conditioned room 8 hours a day, yapping to my chat and getting paid millions of dollars. Yes.
But I think the younger populations in China are, ironically enough, less aware. Like the younger normies are less aware of the animosity that exists, which shouldn't exist at all, obviously. He thought he saw something on the phone. He thought we were like making a mockery, you know what I mean?
He got stopped in his phone, searching potential anti-China stuff, so enforcing censorship, then defends it. Is that what happened? You should probably wait for him to go home before, like, hearing a take about this, and he's still in the country. Guys, I don't blame him for it, because he's in a different country, but if he was in America, and this happened in America, that's it. His next fucking 35 streams would be about this every day. He would milk the fucking, he'd be like, yo, this is fucking insane. This is authoritarian, this is not okay, this is not right, this. I mean, dude, we're talking about a phone search is like fucking end game shit. I mean, take for example, Chad, the event where he got stuck at the airport apparently, or something like that, right?
To which you are.
Fair, he do whatever he wants, but he made a pretty big deal about it, right? That's like 10 times worse than that scale.
Listen, the thing is, even after Hasan goes home or he goes back to his mansion in the US, he will say the same shit, right? It's not like he's being held at gunpoint or anything or forced to say any of this. He's a self-admitted propagandist. He's doing this out of his own free will, although he is also aware of what would happen if he decided not to do this. But the thing is, he has no desire not to do that. I don't know why the US is so forgiving. I guess they're occupied with other shit. But I mean, JD Vance knows that he shocked his dog, so they probably somewhat aware of him. And he's made mainstream media a bunch of times now.
Hasan.
Like Hasan Piker, no electrocution of dogs here.
And by the way, if the vice president and all these people in high positions hate you, wouldn't the fascist Nazi government just lock you up instantly? But apparently Hasan is just free to do anything. It's crazy. It's almost like he has free speech. Moving on to Lonerbox talking about Hasan's tour in China. And Hasan just says that everything is manufactured by America. And yeah, these places are just utopia, apparently.
Ironically enough, less aware. Like the younger normies are less aware of the animosity that exists, which shouldn't exist at all, obviously, but unfortunately does. And it's almost entirely one-sided, entirely designed by America.
It's entirely designed by America. No one else has issues with China. Definitely none of their neighbors. Definitely not most of their neighbors, actually. There's anti-Chinese propaganda, you know, so that's why we need to be fucking cagey about people filming in a public space. Dude, I listen, I don't hate this guy enough. I haven't obsessed with this guy enough, okay? My unhealthy obsession with this person and how fucking stupid he is actually not pronounced. And I cannot believe he would be this fucking this blunt. Like, how moronic do you have to be to go to China, a country that you're clearly planning on doing propaganda for, to get your narrative contradicted on fucking day one, where some cops come up to you for the quote-unquote suspicious behavior of filming in a public space. And obviously it's in a site where...
Yeah, so we're just not going to finish that part for YouTube reasons, but you can probably guess that part about tanks or whatever. Anyways, I hope this situation really shows how fucking brain dead his fan base is to fall for all this shit. These people really seem to have like nothing going for themselves, and they just really suck at life, so they want to blame it on everybody else. And the easiest way to do that is to pretend that, hey, if I was born somewhere else, I would have a much better life. I'd have infinite money, infinite resources. I'd be so happy and fulfilled. And I totally understand that if you actually grew up in poverty. If you actually grew up in like a super poor place, maybe you were starving, maybe your family didn't have money, maybe you had no internet, no food, you know, no hygiene and shit like that. But if you're Hasan Piker, born to a billionaire dad, multi-millionaire uncle, landlord mom, and you're still fucking complaining after having your career handed to you, I mean, how is anybody supposed to have sympathy for you at that point? Also, I feel like all the privileged idiots in his chat don't get to complain as well, because they probably got rich parents and then ended up squandering their money on like gender studies degrees or whatever Hasan wants you to fucking study, right? And even if you were born in unfortunate circumstances, newsflash, Hasan isn't making it any better. He's making it worse. He's taking your last $5 and spending it on a Gucci bag in front of you, saying, hey, I'm on a basic necessity budget, guys. Hey, I bought the supercar for the stream so we can enjoy it together, guys, but you don't get to drive it. Like, it's just insane to me. Now click this video or you become Frogan sized. Okay, thanks for watching. Sorry for the last flashbang. Just had to get one in before the video finished. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye bye.